Hi everyone, it's Kev's Magpie's YouTube channel. Welcome back to another video on my channel. In today's video, I'll be reviewing opening round. If you are returning Kev's Magpies, welcome, like, comment, share. New to the channel, watch this for the first time, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Now, the two games that did get postponed, and which was the Gold Coast Essendon game, which that would be played in round 24, and Brisbane versus Geelong, which that will be played in round 3. Now, the difference of those two games are that it's going to be a pain in the backside for Gold Coast and Essendon, and totally unfair when it comes down to the last game of the season. You try to get when both teams have the buys, but essentially it's going to make it tough. Well, with Brisbane and Geelong, you can go round 3 as well. So, normally you'd be match hardened. Unfortunately, you're not. So, it does make it a bit difficult as much as you possibly can. But with the two games that do play now, I'll talk about the Giants' Collingwood game as well in a minute. I did do the review for that. The Hawks won by 20 points. Now, 14-12-96 to 11-10-76. Now, while it was an interesting first quarter from both the Swans and the Hawks, 9 goals, 6 kicked in that first quarter. But the difference was that second quarter, Hawthorn really got out on the box and they played really well. But the third quarter, the Swans kicked 5 goals, 1. They only kicked 2 goals, 4 in that third quarter. In that last quarter, mate, they kicked 5 behinds and the Hawks kicked 3 goals, 2 as well. There were some worrying signs for me for both teams. It's not all doom and gloom, but one thing that you did see when the Hawks did get it moving quickly, the Sydney Swans defence looked really, nervous then, and you're easy to score from that when you could take the opportunity as well. But the Hawks, I just think at times where their defence is a little bit concerned, but 76 points you really do take. I still think that's a really good performance as well. Yes, it's a win for the Hawks. Look, let's not get too carried away. It is just a one game. Like I said in the review in the Giants Collingwood game, it is just a one game. Look, Hawthorn, as we know, in a pre-season game, it's a lot different, right? In the way they played. They only lost to the Bulldogs by 11 points. So it probably meant nothing at all. Well, the Swans won by 21 points. So that was maybe the only difference in that. The Giants defeated Collingwood by 52 points, 15-14, 104, 6-16, 52. Well, bad kicking is bad football, as we know. Look, I did do the review for the game, and maybe it's not... Maybe I'm going to be harsh here. I know Nick Daicos didn't have a great game. To be honest, he still had, I think it was 21 disposals on top of that. But the one thing that you don't notice as well, and people are going to come at me for saying this, I couldn't care less on what people will say. I just think as well, when you look at when Kieran Briggs went down, and I hope that he's okay. My thoughts and prayers up to him and his family at this time with a broken neck, and I think maybe concussion as well. But one thing that did probably piss me off a little bit more is the fact that we're winning the hit-outs, but they'll win the clearances in that second quarter. And it just really came back and really bite us on the bum. Even the first quarter, when it happened, it was the same shit with that, and I just think it's not good. When we were winning the clearances, when we were on the move, that's when we're dangerous as well. I don't think we'll look that slow. I think that, well, it's been a longer break. I think because they only trained, 3 times this week before their clash, and then they would have had a run at the at Giants Stadium. I definitely do think that maybe that we were a little bit sore. I don't know what went on then. What I've seen from training and what other people have said about training as well, like we have been doing a fair bit of running to try and cover the ground. The ground will come under criticism, and why would you allow a concert like 6 days beforehand? I don't agree with having concerts on. I'll just say that right now. It's not going to change. They're always going to keep doing this no matter what. But personally, when you know you got a game on during that week, like on the Sunday, I think not like 6 days before, but 2 weeks beforehand, you can get the ground set up. The only difference is that you only got, like, after a concert as well, you only got like 4, 5, 6 days just to produce the ground to make sure it's in good condition. There were a fair bit of concerning injuries out there with the surface, but having said that too, guys, like, Giants have played really well. They kicked more accurately than what we did. They hurt us on turnovers. They did everything they can as well. And while I did see it, the vision of it, I don't think it's that bad, but I still think that Fly will get fined for it. $20,000, I think it'll be like, yeah, don't do it again. We'll give you $20,000 fine, wherever it is. But there are some coaches that get away with it a little bit more. But I do think that now this is an opportunity for us to move on. And one game too, I think it's just ridiculous on the comments I want to bring up as well. Like, if you're going to say season's over, or look what happened, it's just one bad game that we played. To be honest, all clubs are going to go through a game like this where you're going to lose somewhere that you don't, that you shouldn't have, and you're going to think, how did we lose that? So, like, to me, the Giants have started out well, but they have fallen late as well. That's the only concern. Look, they played well. I'll give them all the credit in the world. But I do think that people need to calm down a little bit and just get a sense of, okay, look, it's just one game. If this was a concern, if it happened for more than a week, like 2, 3, 4 weeks, then I would say then that is a concern. But because it's not, guys, let's just settle down. Let's just get this game out of the way. Let's just learn from this, move on, and let's just say that, mate, we tried, it didn't work. Houston will come in next week, which is, I think, it's a concern. I don't think there's too many on the injuries front. I think there was a lot of guys cramping, and maybe because it could have been the service as well, which may not help. But no, look, at the end of the day, this is a rivalry between the Giants and the Pies, and look, second time they've beaten us in the opening round, and that's the fact. You know, that is a fact, and I was willing to ignore it after today had we won. But I think then, like, when we played them opening round, they have beaten us. And I want to say something too. Why can't I be confident about my team's chances of winning? Why can't I say we'll win by 17 points? If you look at the Giants out, and I don't know if it's the mindset of the players, like thinking, oh, it's all right, it's easy. You still got to go out there and perform. You still got to go out there and put pressure on. When we were able to, when we put pressure on, it was great. We forced Giants into mistakes, fumbles, and all the rest of it as well. But when you know that Tom Green is out, when you know that Jesse Hogan's not there playing, I think at times where we needed to be better prepared in defence, there are times when we let GWS walk through us as well. So one thing I will say, look, I'm going to continue to say that we're going to win some matches, like we'll beat Port Adelaide, we'll beat the Western Bulldogs, you name it. But let me just tell you guys this with that, right? There will be games where I don't think we'll win. And I'm going to say that, and I'm going to say, look, I'll support the boys regardless. I hope I get a tip wrong when I pick against us, and I'll be stoked and happy for the win. But one thing that I will continue to do, I will continue to express myself on how I seem to be to say on other people's channels or privately as well, where they've had injuries and suspensions, right? And if we came out there and play like we did and we put pressure on them and we forced them into mistakes and we won that game, there are some people that are out there are going to say, oh, that doesn't count because it's basically like a VFL team. But yet are willing to laugh about it and willing to say, oh, but the Giants, GWSB Collingwood, how embarrassing, blah, 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 blah. Guys, grow up. It's time for you guys to grow up, especially in chat. And especially to some of those people that I'm going to give a clip to. I'm not going to mention names, but I just feel like if people need to back off a bit, it's one bad game. We've still got next week to bounce back. Obviously, Sunday night against Power. I'll be there at the G, as always. But I do think that had we won this game and I was happy about it, I only did say 17 points. I did say it would be about 3 goals. And I did say, look, we'll probably run over the top of them in the end. They'll probably come out firing and all the rest as well because they were disappointing against the Blues. So they had a fair bit to play for. We had a fair bit to play for as well. I am not going to mention the umpiring. I do think it's some of the push and back goals and that. Like, I still think it's a bit, if you're going to pay them to the Giants, then you got to be consistent umpires. But I'm not blaming the umpires for that loss. I'm blaming us as a club for losing that game. I think the mentality has to be we come out there and we show up. We didn't show up. It's just one bad game. It's all good, people. So please be calm. Look, when I talk, obviously I believe it. So look, I get that one wrong. I apologize for that. But also too, guys, I put my hand up. I'm going to continue to do it. But I think people need to calm down a little bit and had we won, I want people to say, hey, look, well done, Kev. It was a good win by Collingwood despite, the Giants players having players out. I don't want to hear, because, you get that people have that narrative of it doesn't matter if you win because, it doesn't count because they've had players out injured and suspension. But it would be embarrassment if you lost. So like I said, for those people, need to calm down, need to have that narrative of, okay, if Collingwood won, the game counts. But I will continue to say this, when teams that do have injuries, it happens to every other team. Mate, we've had injuries during pre-season. We've had Nick Dacus with the foot injury as well. We've had injuries during pre-season where luckily it's not as bad, but we can manage it. So at the end of the day, all clubs are going to have injuries, and I think it's time for people just to calm down a little bit and we'll see what happens. Hope you guys liked the video. Don't forget to drop a like or drop a sub. Look, I still showed up. That's the main thing, and that's why I'm going to show up. Wins, losses, I'm going to give us praise when we win, but I'm also going to criticize the club as well. But until next time, bye for now.